What up guys, your boy Carlos, and we are back with another one, and as you can see, we are doing a one-shot build. Now you can either one-shot or two-shot bosses, it just depends on if they have cutscenes or not, but you're pretty much one-shotting every boss with this, and you are watching us do it with the clones. Now you don't have to do this with the clones, this is a new game plus build. You can absolutely do this in the base game, because I was doing this at the beginning of the game, and then I stopped doing it because I felt a little cheesy, but you don't need the clones to do big damage, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and get into that build. Alright guys, getting into the equipment, we are using the Jingu Bong, which I think is really good. You get this pretty much at the end of the game. It's an amazing weapon just because it has a high attack and a good crit rating. If you don't want to use that, I would highly suggest using the Adept Spy. Now you don't get this until you go into New Game Plus, and the only reason I would suggest this is because it has 25% crit hit chance, and we are doing a crit build. I mean, this is hitting hard. They both work very well. This actually works pretty cool. It gets a little more damage sometimes because it does spikes that shoot out, and those spikes that do shoot out will crit as well. So either one of these are fine. As far as vessels, we are using the Weaver's Needle, and that's just because it gives us more crit hit chance and more crit damage. You can use whatever you want here. It's not really needed, but I mean, we are just trying to stack damage, so I would highly suggest this. As far as spirits, we're using the Gore Eye Dallas, and this is just because we use him as a buff, and he buffs us for another 60 points of damage. Sometimes that stacks up to 65. I don't know what does that, but it is consistently 60 damage. And then the armor should be a no-brainer. We're using Pilgrim's armor just because you get it very early in the game, and it's one of the most OP armors in the game just because you don't have to do anything. You could literally run around for 10 seconds while charging a heavy attack, and at the end of that 10 seconds you are going to do double damage. This is just very, very easy to armor to use, and I would highly suggest doing it on this build. And as far as Curios go, anything that gives you crit chance or crit damage, anything that gives you just raw attack, I would do that. The reason I have 4 slots is because I am in New Game Plus, and I did challenge and beat the Tiger again just to get another stack. I don't know how many times that stacks up. Maybe we can have 5, maybe we can have 6, I don't know. But if you just have 3, just go for crit chance. And as far as relics go, you're going to see that I have 2 unlocked. That's just because we're playing through New Game Plus, and they give you more every time you play through. So if you're going to choose one, I would choose one of these 2. This just gives us more overall damage on our crits, and this allows us to go into Unveiling Strike more often just because it reduces our spell cooldown. So either one of these are up to you. They're both good choices. As far as Fuming Ears, none of these work for the build, so choose whatever you want here. None of these work at all. And as far as Hubris knows, this is the best one. Lingering Aroma gains a moderate damage bonus for a short time after casting a spell. We are casting a spell every time we do this buff, so definitely do that just to get a little bit more damage. As far as Envious Tongue, Refreshing Taste is the best after consuming medicine, increases the critical hit chance of the next attack. So as soon as you eat a medicine, which is part of the buff ritual, as soon as you do that at the very beginning, we're going to have more of a crit chance, which is nice. And last but not least, Grieved Body. Nimble Body massively reduces the stamina cost of all charge heavy attacks. This is a heavy charge attack build, so this is a no-brainer. And if you did the secret ending for New Game Plus, you can get Unified Minds. When the Destined One performs a certain powerful move, the duplicates will follow, and they just do charge heavies with you. This is really, really busted. I don't know why they put this in the game. If you don't have it, you don't need it. It's not that big of a deal. You're still going to do massive damage without this. You're just not going to do true one-shots. Alright, getting into our points. As far as stamina goes, you just need the first 2 really just because it helps us with sprinting and it helps with stamina recovery. You can bring it on down to here just to have more stamina recovery as long as we are above half health, which we are always above half health with this build, so go ahead and go for that. As far as martial arts, you don't need either one of these trees. This is all for light attacks, and this is just bullshit. I don't use this at all. And then as far as survival, you want crit hit chance, crit hit damage, and then overall attack. This just helps with everything we're doing. If you want to put more points in here somewhere else, you can. As far as staff stance, smash stance is the best for this just because we can run and charge heavy attacks, and that is going hand in hand with the Pilgrim set just because we can constantly run and charge. Go ahead and max this out. This whole thing revolves around us doing max damage with the smash stance. And with that said, go ahead and max a bunch of these out. The only thing that doesn't matter is this last one. If you want to put a point in here, you can, but we're not playing defensively. We're just playing aggressively and doing one big charge heavy attack. As far as mysticism, we are putting a couple points into immobilize. We're not using this, but we're going to be using our clones or strand, pluck of many, and they will immobilize targets for us, and that just allows us to do extra damage to immobilize targets. If you want to max this out because you have the points, go for it. As far as alteration, we're using Cloud Step. Now go ahead and max this out because this is our bread and butter. This is what's going to stack our damage. Even if we don't use pluck of many, we're going to get a lot of damage from this because this increases our overall critical hit chance by another 40%. As you can see here, it's really good. As long as you stay hidden for 10 seconds, you stack up 40% extra crit hit, and then we do more damage while being an Unveiling Strike using heavy attacks, and more damage while being an Unveiling Strike. So it's just more damage by using this, and we're invisible, nothing's attacking us. Pluck of Many is what we're going to use for Strand. Now these bad boys are just deadly on their own. I would go ahead and max this out regardless if you're New Game Plus or not, and you can actually get the benefits from using these. These guys are just super dangerous, super good to have, and they will immobilize targets. So go ahead and stack these guys up and just do your whole buff and smash things. And last but not least, transformations. The only thing you really need for this build is Cold Edge. That's because it moderately reduces the cooldowns of all alteration spells, and that counts as Cloud Step, so we can have Cloud Step up quite a bit in a fight. All right guys, I'm going to show you the rotation of how it works. So starting off, let's look at the stats. We're at 177 damage, we're at 20% crit chance, and 175% crit damage. When you start off, you're going to start off with the Douse. I'm going to drop him down. He's going to put his staff down, and what that does is it buffs our damage. You can see we are at 238 damage, so that's another 60.61. This does have a range on it. The more you upgrade them, the further out you can go. So this is too far. As you can see, there's no glow. As soon as I get close enough where I'm in that range, you'll see we're starting to glow. So now we get our damage back. As long as you're in this radius, you are doing that extra damage. You don't have to buff or run around in this. I just usually do. You want to put this close to the boss so you can do the damage. As far as everything else, we're going to call in Pluck of Many. These guys are going to do damage. They're going to do the same thing as us. And then we're going to drink a pot. Boost our crit. We're going to do Unveil, and then we're going to run around while doing a charge heavy attack. I'm not going to charge a heavy attack right now because it will not allow me to show the stats. I usually stay in the radius of this. You don't have to, but we're just going to count to 10 and do this run right here until we're fully buffed, and then we're going to look. And as you can see, these are the buff stats of that. We're now at a 70% crit hit chance. We're still at 175, but we're at 415 damage. All right, guys, that pretty much sums it up. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and comment. It helps this channel out a lot, and it helps me out a lot. The next couple of videos are going to be build videos. I'm definitely going to do a lightning build next, and then I'm going to do a poison build right after that because I found an item that allows poison builds to be way better. After that, I'm going to do a defensive build, and I might do a fire build. I'm not too sure on that. I need to mess with it a little bit more to see if it's any good. Anyways, you guys have a great day, and I will see you in the future. Later, guys.